The goal of marriage is to have a fulfilling relationship, so you're looking for mutual satisfaction. I think the idea of premarital counseling is a beautiful idea if it's a voluntary idea. But as a forced idea, you cannot force people to really be open with a counselor and to share their relationship if it's not something that they choose to do. So I think it would be, I mean, it's a good idea, but it cannot be forced. There's no guarantee. I'm finding in my own practice of 25 years as a couples counselor that there are more people coming into counseling today as couples than there was maybe 10 or 15 years ago.
So they come in,
I think that people are trying to make their marriages work now more than they did before.
And what's the reason with that, do you think?
I'm not sure, but I think that people feel like it's not that easy to really separate and go their own ways. I would say that marriage is a very personal thing. I mean, marriage is not something that happens on a day in a church. It's not a ceremony. It's a daily process. And I think the main thing about marriage is supposed to be about love. Our basic right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I mean, one of the two major sources of happiness that a person can experience is through love. I mean, the other is their satisfaction in work.
Flip side of that is that in this day and age, people walk around and they're in love, and then they're in abusive relationships.
Yes.
They're in love.
Sometimes love is not enough. When they're in an abusive relationship, and a family staying together does not necessarily mean that you're giving the children the best example and modeling of good communication. I mean, you can help people stay together, but to make a blatant law that says we must stay with someone and we don't know. We change and we grow. We are not stagnant beings. And there comes a time when we may grow to a point where we've grown out of a particular marriage. Do we stay there for the state? It's so important when there are children for people to learn how to split is how to communicate. Because in my experience of 25 years as a therapist, I have found that people usually divorce the way they are married. I just would like to address the whole concept of marriage, if I can, for a moment.
Just a moment.
Just a moment. When couples come to my office, one of the first things that I tell them is that I am not here to try to make your marriage work. What I'm going to do is to try to help you create the best environment and to teach you what's necessary for the best possibility of a working relationship. And the rest is going to be up to the fates and what happened between you. And I really come from the point of view that relationships are voluntary.